Welcome back to Footballology. Next up, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers for their draft grade. Now, the Pittsburgh Steelers last year, you look at their season in total, it was just pretty much a peak and valley season. It was up and it had its downs. But when realistically, all the stuff that happened off the field, I think kind of distracted the team just a little bit. Even though they said it didn't, it really distracted the team from being the best team it possibly could be. Obviously, you had the Le'Veon Bell situation, you had the Antonio Brown situation, and especially, the Antonio Brown thing really didn't happen until like mid to late season. But really, all that stuff was going on, and you just wonder how long that was festering as far as like the early part of the season and just even in the training camp part of the season. So pretty much all of that, you take all of that and you ball it up, and you get a 97 record. I personally felt like the Pittsburgh Steelers secondary was the thing that held them back the most last year, and you can make the case for their defense in general. Their offense still found ways to click, especially with Big Ben at the helm and James Conner running the ball, and Juju really starting to take his game to the next level as well. So offensively, I feel like they couldn't really miss a beat, but defensively, I feel like they were just kind of missing those key playmakers and things like that. So you knew going into this offseason that I feel like personally they were going to make a bigger emphasis on the defensive side of the ball and trying to make sure that defense can be the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. So first up, the best pick in my personal opinion that the Pittsburgh Steelers made was Devin Bush. Now, not only is he the best pick that the Pittsburgh Steelers made, but he's the best pick in the whole entire draft in my personal opinion. This guy is a fast and vicious linebacker, and especially in the middle of that defense, I can only imagine what he's going to be capable of doing. I know it might be too early to say this, but I really feel like that he's an elite linebacker. I feel like he's going to be one of those guys in that category. Possibly, no, I'll go on a limb and say this for sure, 100%. He's going to be in the category with the Luke Kuechlys, with the Patrick Willises, with the Ray Lewises. Like all those guys, all those linebackers, I feel like he can be in that category with these guys. He's going to be an elite linebacker. And personally, I wish the Chiefs would have found a way to go up and get him because I feel like he's going to be that dangerous. But obviously, we didn't. The Pittsburgh Steelers was like, nobody else can have him. We want him. We're going to go get him. And they did. And I really feel like this dude's going to make their defense. I looked up the defense statistics last year, and it wasn't a bad defense. I actually thought it was a really bad defense. But looking at their stats and everything that they did last year, it wasn't that bad of a defense. But I really feel like Devin Bush is about to take the Pittsburgh Steelers defense and make it the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. I feel like he's about to take this defense to a whole nother level. And I'm not sure, outside of Pittsburgh, I'm not sure a lot of people are understanding what he's about to be capable of doing. And I personally put that kind of pressure on him. Like, I'm pretty sure he has that kind of pressure on himself, being a top 10 pick and everything. But I really feel like he's that good of an interior linebacker. I feel like with his speed and his viciousness, like watching him play, he knocks people back. Nobody jumps forward. Nobody moves forward on him. Once he hits you, you're done. You're hitting a stone wall. And not only are you hitting a stone wall, the stone wall is moving like lightning. Like the stone wall is getting there with a reckless abandonment, and he's going to take you out of the play. Dude is such a good linebacker. Now, only thing that you want to see him improve on, which is going to take time with coverages and things like that, it's just him improving over his coverages and understanding schemes and things like that. That's going to just take time, and that's going to come. But with his natural athleticism and his natural ability, he's going to be such a monster in the next level. And I'm jealous, but I understand completely why Pittsburgh did what they did to go get him. Now, the one thing that the Pittsburgh Steelers did in this draft that I'm just kind of like iffy about. Now, listen to me, Steelers fan, when I say this. The Steelers, the Baltimore Ravens, and the New England Patriots are three teams that when I grade them, I feel stupid for grading them because they understand how to draft and they understand how to get players to fit their scheme and do what they want them to do and get those players to play at the highest level possible. Those three teams are the three teams that when I go in to look at their draft grades and I do all my research on them, I'm just like, I don't see it, but I know that I just don't know what I'm talking about. Just those three organizations, when it comes down to it, they just know what they're doing. So pretty much take what I'm about to say with a grain of salt. But the one thing that I didn't like about this draft class is that I didn't feel like they put a bigger emphasis on their secondary players, at least creating some level of competition there. I know they brought in Steve Nelson and a couple of other guys, but Steve Nelson is not that good. Like, coming from a Chiefs fan, I personally feel like Steve Nelson should have played safety a lot more when he was here in Kansas City, but they moved him down the corner. And I just felt like that was a bad career decision for him. And it was a bad decision for the Chiefs, but that's just neither here or there. But I'm just saying, though, like when it comes down to Steve Nelson, I don't feel like he's going to be that big of an impact on their team. Now, I know they got Justin Lane, who I watched him, and he's actually really good. He's a lengthy corner. I wish he had a little bit more size on him, but realistically, I feel like he's going to be a good corner. Is he going to be enough to actually shape up the secondary? He might be just enough so you can move other pieces around and put other players in positions that make plays and things like that. And they still got the Edmonds twin at safety, so it's not. I understand, but I really feel like they should have just put a small, like a little bit more big of an emphasis on that. I think they only took Lane in the secondary, and then that was it. They took some other defensive pieces which they need, things like that. So I understood that, but I wish they could have got at least one more D back, a safety or a corner or something, just to create some kind of level of competition at that. But like I said, when it comes down to the Steelers, they know what they're doing. They understand their roster, and it's just one of the organizations that I kind of hate grading, but I do it anyways. But Justin Lane, I feel like could be that guy. He could take this defense or that secondary and help him move to the next level, but they got Devin Bush, so it really doesn't matter what they do. Now, the one pick that I feel like is going unnoticed and really untalked about, pretty much outside of Pittsburgh, in my personal opinion, and maybe it's been talked about and I just haven't seen anything, but Benny Snell Jr., like, I watched this guy play, and he looks really good. I almost, like, I had to stop myself from doing this. I almost gave him the Marshawn comparisons, but he's definitely a tough runner. He's a dirty runner. Not dirty, like, in that kind of way. Like, he's that guy to kind of get those grimy yards and things like that. But I feel like in due time, he's going to become a guy that you can rely on, especially in the early parts of the season. You remember the late part last year, James Conner got banged up, and he just really wasn't right. Like, Pittsburgh Steelers have been known, and especially in the last couple of years, to run their running backs hard and often. So really, you get a guy like Benny Snell, you can run him for the first 4 to 8 weeks and just, it's going to sound bad, but really just run the wheels off him as much as you possibly want. And then the later parts of the season, when the game started, then game intensity starts to pick up a little bit more, and the game starts to matter a little bit more, and then especially rolling into the playoffs, you break out a guy like James Conner just to really kind of give your offense that next level, that next gear, and he's just as fresh at that later part of the season. Benny Snell can still kind of contribute a little bit in the later part of the year, but realistically, at the beginning part of the year, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a lot more touches, or maybe you flip it a little bit. James Conner already has that continuity and that understanding of the offense, so you run him early in the year, and then late part of the season, Benny Snell is a guy that you break out, and he's just as fresh. He's a rookie, and he can run hard. He can do pretty much everything James Conner can do. So it's going to be really exciting to watch these 1-2 combo between those two. And I know they got some other running backs there that they like as well, but I feel like Benny Snell is a guy that no one's talking about, and he's going to be a dangerous player at the next level. So with all that being said, pretty much, I feel like they deserve an A. You get the best player in the draft, in my personal opinion. You get Justin Lane, who I feel like is going to allow you to move some pieces around in your secondary and open up some other key positions and things like that. So I'm interested to see how they're going to use him and how he adjusts their whole entire depth chart as far as that secondary goes with safeties and corners and things like that. And then you get Benny Snell in the 4th round, who I feel like was a steal. Like, literally, dude was a steal. Not like... it's so mind-blowing that they got him that late, and I feel like how he's going to contribute to this offense, especially in the middle to late parts of the season, is going to be really interesting to see how they're going to use him. But I feel like he's going to be a beast. I feel like he's going to actually make teams think about when he's on the field. The same thing happened James Conner rookie year when they brought him in with Le'Veon Bell. James Conner came out and had some really good runs, and then you can see year 2, he looked even better. And I feel like Benny Snell is going to be in the same exact predicament, where this year he might not look like he has it just yet, and he might show some flashes, things like that. But then next year, you're going to see him. He's just going to explode. And people are like, oh, Benny Snell. Like, I feel like this dude is going to be a beast for sure. And then you think about Isaiah Buggs, a guy that they got a defensive tackle in the later parts of the draft as well. That's another guy that is going to create some depth along that defensive line. And then they got Sutton Smith, who's a linebacker that I was pretty high on and interested in. And I'm really happy he went to Pittsburgh because I'm interested to see how they're going to use him. So overall, I feel like this was a good draft. Only knock on this draft, in my personal opinion, is just I wanted to see a little bit more competition at the secondary position. I don't want them to settle for what they have on the roster. Like, Steve Nelson is not that good, in my personal opinion. He was here in Kansas City, and I just felt like he was kind of the product of the players that were around him. And maybe he still has good players in Pittsburgh with him, but I just don't feel like he's going to be that corner that everyone's expecting in Pittsburgh, personally. So that's all I have for you, Steeler Nation. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comment section about you guys' draft class. Did I grade this class too high? Should it have been a B or C or something like that? Like, did you guys like this draft class at the end of the day? Personally, like, I have a man crush on Devin Bush. Dude is a beast. I think he's going to be a beast at the next level. That's just between me and you. But I think that they had a perfect draft. And let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I'm always willing to talk, and I'm always willing to debate anything football related. I'm here. I'm ready to talk. And if you guys are not a footballologist yet, go and subscribe to the YouTube channel today. Become a footballologist. And stay safe, football fans.